The next ones that showed up when I went through the pie chart, plotting rational numbers on a number line. Anybody know what a rational number is, as opposed to an integer? Fractions. Technically, a rational number is anything you can write as a ratio, which is a fraction. So we're going to plot fractions on the number line. So again, the first thing you want to do is see what your denominators on your fraction should be by counting how many spaces are between the 0 and the 1, or between the 1 and the 2. It really doesn't matter. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces there. So my denominator should be in 6. My first one already is in 6. I'm going to go to -2, and then 1/6 beyond that, so one space to the left. So -2 and 1/6 would be right there. My 8/3, however, doesn't have a denominator of 6, so I need to make my equivalent fraction. So if I make my equivalent fraction, 3 goes into 6, 2 times 8 is 16. So 8/3 is the same thing as 16/6. Now I could count 16 spaces. 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 6, 8, 6, 9, 6, 10, 6, 11, 6, 12, 6, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm 4 spaces past that too. Okay, I could count it out that way, or I could change it to the mixed number. If I divide 6 into 16, it goes in there 2 whole times. 6 times 2 is 12. I've got 4 past that, 4/6. So I could have just hopped over 2 and known I had to do 4/6 on that, so 4/6 over, instead of having to count all 16. Either way works. So again, number 8, if I'm going to plot -1 and 5/6, I'm going to make sure I'm in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, there's 6 spaces between 0 and 1. So -1 and then 5/6 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm right before that -2. -1 and 5/6 beyond that. Number 8 says 5/3. Again, the 5/3 I would have to change to my equivalent fraction since I need to be in 6. 3 goes into 6. 2 times 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to make it into the mixed number so I don't have to count 10 places. 6 goes into 10 one time. I've got 4 left over, so I got to go 1 and 4/6. 1 and 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6. So 4 marks after the 1. Go ahead, do number 9 while I move the board. By the way, when we get done with the whole packet, you will turn that in. I will look those over just in case you messed up somewhere and fix them up for you. I will give them back. You will be able to use these on the final. So if you're taking good notes. On this one, we're doing -3/4 and 7/4. If I count between 0 and 1, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So I don't have to change any of my denominators. They're already in fourths. So -3/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 would be right before that -1. The 7/4, either I could count over 7 places to the right, or if I change it to a mixed number, 4 goes into 7 one time, I've got a remainder of 3, so it would be 1 and 3/4. So 1 and 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Questions on that? The whole thing is just to make sure you check to make sure your denominator is in the units that you want it to be in by counting your spaces between 0 and 1. Then it's pretty easy.